Hello and welcome to Lazada Insider, featuring knowledge that makes a difference. We share trusted insights, forward-looking perspectives, and exclusive expert interviews to keep you ahead of the curve.
Hi, I'm your host Katrina, and welcome to another episode of Lazada Insider. We bring exclusive insights to you every week, so don't forget to follow this channel so that you will not miss any future episode. Today, our focus is on beauty and personal care industry. The industry has gone through unprecedented changes due to the pandemic. In Southeast Asia, the growth of beauty and personal care retail sales slowed down to 1.5% in 2020 versus 7% the year before. The biggest question then is what is the future like for the industry, and how can businesses strategize and operate to seize the opportunities and stand out from the competition? Today, we are very delighted to be joined by expert guest SiYing from Euromonitor, one of the world's leading provider of strategic intelligence on industries, markets, and consumers. SiYing is the beauty and fashion specialist at Euromonitor in Singapore, and she manages a team of analysts in the Southeast Asia region. As an industry expert, she brings to the table her deep knowledge of evolving industry trends and competitive strategies. Hello, SiYing, welcome, and thank you for joining us on Lazada Insider.
Thank you for having me, Kat. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome, great to have you. And I would love to hear more about what your position entails as beauty and fashion specialist at Euromonitor. Tell us more about it.
Sure. I'm currently a research analyst within the beauty and fashion vertical in Euromonitor, where I uncover trends and insights for the overall beauty and fashion landscape, which spans across various industries, including beauty and personal care, consumer health, apparel and footwear, personal accessories and eyewear, as well as luxury goods. So besides leading the research for the Singapore market, I also manage research in other Southeast Asian markets, specifically Thailand, where I work closely with local analysts based there to synthesize insights in the wider Southeast Asia region. And throughout my time here, I also interact frequently with industry players to share and discuss trends that are happening in the industry, the competitive landscape, as well as the overall business environment, so that both parties can actually thrive on this joint market intelligence built together.
Lovely, lovely. And to start off, could you please share more about the beauty and personal care industry in general? What is the market size and who are the leading players and brands in this industry?
Sure. So, the beauty and personal care industry in Euromonitor's taxonomy consists of about 11 product categories, which fall under two main broad segments. So, the first one being beauty, which consists of product categories such as color cosmetics, skin care, and fragrances products. And the second main segment being personal care, which includes categories such as bath and shower, hair care, and oral care products. So, the industry is actually one of the largest consumer industries in retail value terms, both globally and regionally. So as of the latest research data that we have, the entire market size stands at about 180 billion US dollars in Asia Pacific, and Southeast Asia actually takes up around 15% of this share at about 27 billion US dollars. So in terms of the industry growth, the beauty and personal care industry in Southeast Asia alone is forecasted to grow at a retail CAGR growth rate of about 5% in the next 5 years. So to speak more about the industry itself, I would say the global beauty industry has a moderate level of consolidation across all regions. So market fragmentation would be highest in regions like Asia Pacific, where local and regional players strive to gain their share of the industry pie, especially in competitive categories such as skincare and color cosmetics. And within the Southeast Asia region itself, some of the leading players in the industries include global conglomerates like L'Oreal, Procter& Gamble, Unilever, Colgate-Palmolive, as well as Estee Lauder. So I'll dive a bit deeper to some of these companies and why they have been so successful. So for instance, L'Oreal's strong growth on focus on digitalization and innovation over the years has really paid off, which has allowed the company to capitalize on the market momentum and maintain its lead in the industry. And on the other hand, we have players such as Unilever, which focuses more on volume-led competitive growth by investing in brand acquisitions to diversify its offerings. So in general, I would say the players with a more diversified and balanced portfolio of products that range across multiple categories would actually stand to gain competitive advantage over those who compete with a more niche portfolio. So comparing like the beauty and personal care industry across different demographics like gender and age, we have actually seen a growing interest in men's grooming, which has boomed over the years, especially in markets such as South Korea, Japan, and Thailand, due to the evolving social norms redefining the rules of traditional masculinity. And this has actually opened up opportunities for brands to expand their reach in the men's grooming space. And we see brands quickly capitalizing on this trend by diversifying their product lines to offer more men's product within the beauty and personal care industry. So in terms of the different age group, we are also seeing brands shifting their product and marketing strategies in order to target the newer generations, in particular the millennials and the Generation Zs, which are taking up nearly half of the global population. So both of these generations actually do share similar traits, such as them being digital natives and also valuing experiences more over physical products. Hence, whether it's taking their engagement strategies online or building novel brand experiences, we are actually seeing an acceleration of these activities by beauty and personal care players in order to appeal to these growing demographics.
Thank you for sharing. And this is very insightful. And we also know that the beauty and personal care industry has been quite resilient in the past, but it has certainly been shocked by this pandemic crisis that we are still in. What are the major shifts that you have observed in the beauty and personal care industry in recent few years? And what drives those shifts?
Great question. So there are actually three main major shifts that I have observed within the industry over the years, and they are firstly digitalization, second a focus on holistic wellness, as well as lastly the rise of dermal cosmetic products. So let's start off with the first trend, which is the onset of digitalization across the entire business chain, whether it's for the development of digital products, disrupting of traditional retail distribution channels, or digital content creation as part of consumer engagement. So digital transformation has indeed been one of the main growth drivers within the beauty and personal care industry, given the rapidly growing internet penetration and expansion of digital capabilities within the region. And the pandemic has certainly helped to accelerate this trend as well. So according to Euromonitor's Voice of the Industry Beauty and Personal Care Survey in 2020, about 75% of the leading global industry players actually do agree that digital engagement was either very or extremely influential during the pandemic. And this can be seen from the huge boom in e-commerce in 2020 alone, which grew by more than 100% in retail value sales from 2019 in Southeast Asia alone. So this is thanks to brands being very quick to capitalize on the digital space to push out strategies to maintain top of mind recall among consumers, such as optimizing their e-commerce retail channels, especially from brands that operate traditionally in brick and mortar retail stores. And online boutiques showcasing virtual experiences, home-based beauty consultations, virtual and augmented reality technologies, as well as the penetration of social media channels are just some examples of how digitalization has actually extended over and beyond various aspects of the industry. So I would think that the acceleration of digitalization is definitely a major shift that was set to become permanent in the industry. So moving on to the next trend, the next prominent shift that I have observed is actually the redefinition of wellness and incorporation of beauty as part of the whole movement towards holistic wellness. So we are actually seeing the lines between health and beauty blur with a focus on achieving beauty from within, where many beauty brands with clean and natural positionings have emerged to the forefront. So, according to Euromonitor's products, claims, and positionings insights, the natural claim was actually the leading claim among beauty and consumer health categories in 2019. And the changing demands of the cautious consumers have actually led to a greater scrutiny of the types of ingredients, where consumers are actually paying greater attention to the products that are free from harmful ingredients such as parabens, fragrance, as well as sulfate. And the pandemic has certainly boosted this trend as well, where we are seeing a heightened preventive health awareness among consumers, which has indeed boosted demand and a need for a greater assurance for safe ingredients. So in 2020 alone, we have observed not just brands and manufacturers actually tapping on this trend, but also among retailers as well. So to give an example, Watson Singapore, they have actually launched their conscious beauty range, featuring clean beauty brands offering products which do not contain any harmful or unwanted ingredients. And moving on to the last trend, which is closely related to the trend of holistic wellness as well, is actually the rise of dermocosmetics in recent years. So the growth in dermocosmetics highlights increasing consumer preference for products positioned around prevention, since dermocosmetic products claim to help alleviate sensitive skin concerns and conditions with therapeutic properties. So as the whole health and wellness trend actually exert a greater influence on consumers, we have seen a shift among traditionally beauty-focused skincare brands adopting a more medicinal positioning. So brands which fall outside of this established dermocosmetic space are developing more dermo-inspired lines, while on the other hand, brands which are dermatologist founded actually leverage on the rapid commercialization of this category to expand further in terms of their distribution channels. And over the years, we have indeed seen a lot of global dermocosmetic brands such as Cetaphil, La Roche-Posay, and Bioderma experiencing rapid growth. And there has also been an increasing number of both regional and local brands emerging to the forefront to differentiate themselves by designing products that are better tailored to local demographics. So some examples include Asian-based skincare brand BioEssence, dermocosmetic lines such as Dermalab, which offers products that are specially designed to target Asian skin types. So with close to 50% of the Asian consumers indicating that they have actually used dermocosmetic products with or without doctor's consultation in 2020 itself. And as we see consumer preferences continue to shift towards long-term skincare, we can expect that the category continue to grow in demand and popularity in the years to come as well.
Excellent. And these three key trends that you share about really derive from consumers. So let's deep dive a little bit more into the consumers and look at the industry from the lens of consumers who are definitely the heart of the industry. Has consumers' demand and shopping behavior changed greatly as well because of the pandemic? And how can business adapt to these changes?
Sure. Let me answer your first question first regarding consumers' demand. So consumers' demand and their shopping behaviors has definitely changed over the years, and they have contributed to major trends in the industry, which I've touched on earlier. So in terms of demand, we are actually seeing shifting demands for different categories, particularly for skincare, which has been outperforming some of the other categories such as color cosmetics in Southeast Asia. So this can be attributed to a few key factors relating to the region's demography and economic makeup, such as trading up to premium skincare products across the more developed markets in Southeast Asia, such as Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, and also a growth in a more sophisticated skincare routine and catering to more skincare products targeted at anti-aging within markets with a larger proportion of aging consumers. And lastly, a factor would be also a demand for more mass and masstige segments in developing markets with higher proportion of younger consumers such as Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. So with regards to how businesses can actually adapt to these changes, it depends on which Southeast Asian market that they are looking to penetrate, strive to understand the consumer demographic profile as well as the current competitive landscape of these individual markets in Southeast Asia before actually localizing their business strategies accordingly. So, for example, in countries such as Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines, they have a higher penetration of direct selling brands such as Avon Cosmetics and Mary Kay. So, as such, tailoring to the local consumer needs and nuances in the market, whether it's deciding on the product portfolio or allocating resources to different retail channel distributions, would be key for the business to succeed in the region. And to actually give a more specific case study, bring in Unilever, which has actually demonstrated this really well in Indonesia. So by taking in mind the unique retail channel landscape in Indonesia, where e-commerce and traditional retailers such as the mom and pop stores dominate, Unilever has actually set up a home delivery platform during the pandemic to fulfill orders not only from e-commerce warehouse such as Lazada, local player Blibli, but also family-run mom and pop stores, so as to help the consumers keep up with the surge in demand for essential personal care products during the pandemic. So this is actually an example of a localization strategy where businesses are able to be agile to adapt to what's happening locally in the market, which will then help them to create quick wins in the market as well. And in terms of shopping behavior across the entire Southeast Asia region, we are seeing consumers definitely moving online for beauty and personal care purchases. So with around 70% of the region's population with access to the internet as of 2020, and with online retail taking almost 10% of the region's total beauty and personal care retail value sales, this is essential for any businesses, I would say, who aspire to gain a share of the industry pie to actually adopt a digital first strategy in order to expand their reach to the ever-growing digital consumer population. So, in fact, according to a report by Facebook and Bain and Companies, their latest Southeast Asia Digital Consumer Report in 2020, the top online activities within Southeast Asia digital consumers actually include social media, messaging, and video streaming, with about 62% of the respondents citing this as their top 3 preferred online channels for discovering new brands and products. So as such, there exists a lot of opportunities for businesses to leverage on these social media channels as part of their retail strategy, since the market for social commerce is huge, especially in markets with large populations of mobile-first users such as Thailand and Vietnam. And creation and optimization of the brand content for mobile users, such as conducting live streams or designing mobile-friendly shopping experiences, would definitely help businesses stay ahead of the curve.
Excellent. And I loved how you share about very sharply how businesses can seize the opportunities through localization, through digitalization. But we also know that beauty and personal care is a category with very intense competition. How can business stand out from the crowd?
That's a great question as well. So I would think the first way to stand out would definitely be developing an omni-channel retail strategy and creating a seamless journey between offline and online by finding the right channel mix for the customer. So at any point of the customer journey, make sure that all the touch points within the journey can be directly accessible by consumers. So let's focus on the online aspect first. So one way to actually strengthen this online retail arm is definitely establishing partnerships with major e-commerce players like yourself in the market as a way to increase the number of touch points and strengthen engagement with consumers. So we are seeing many major industry players leveraging e-commerce marketplaces by tapping on the platform's sizable number of audience to reach consumers through exclusive brand campaigns, shopping festivals, and live streaming, for example, in order to drive growth for the business. So to give an example, Shiseido actually partnered with Lazada in Thailand to host a last live broadcasting live streaming session to promote some of the brand's online exclusive products last year, and over 90,000 viewers actually tuned into that session, with the product selling out in just 30 minutes, which generated 40 times more global merchandise value for the brand as compared to just a regular hour on the platform itself. So this shows the power of the online marketplace, and brands should definitely tap on these various e-commerce players in the markets as part of their consumer growth and acquisition strategy. So besides leveraging on e-commerce marketplaces, businesses can also strengthen their own brand.com experience as well by creating attractive yet exclusive brand experiences that make consumers feel invested and interested to explore more. So for starters, businesses can consider providing one-to-one personalized online consultations where consumers can speak directly to brand representatives or advisors regarding questions about products, or if they're interested to know or receive tailored products recommendations from the brand experts. So, and then moving on to a more immersive brand.com experience, businesses can also consider building virtual boutiques that mimic the in-store experiences by featuring educational and engaging content about the brand and products. So, for example, L'Oreal's Lancôme actually debuted its first ever virtual flagship store last year, which provided an immersive 3D virtual shopping experience where consumers were able to experience various different contents such as live streaming sessions and virtual consultation services. And of course, when we are talking about the omni-channel, we would also look at enhancing the offline shopping experience for consumers as well, and how to take it up a notch by creating personalized and novel brand experiences for every individual that steps into the store. So we are actually seeing a lot of innovative storefronts that have incorporated technology to elevate the entire store experience, becoming what we define as a phygital store. So in fact, many brands and retailers in the industry have actually started to transform their in-store experiences as a result of the pandemic, where store restrictions were implemented which limited many aspects of the in-store shopping experience, such as the trying on and testing of product samples. So as a solution to this, beauty brands and retailers have actually come up with workarounds that allow consumers to experience enjoyable store experiences with the help of technological tools. So last year, the dermocosmetic skincare brand SkinCeuticals actually launched its first ever tech-driven beauty counter in Singapore, equipped with interactive virtual and augmented reality technology that help educate consumers about the brand's products. And it also featured like an AI-powered robot assistant, which assisted consumers with questions about products and even provided mini tours around the premise of the counter. Similarly, we are seeing examples in other parts of Southeast Asia as well. So, for example, Eucerin, which incorporated an in-store skin analyzer which assisted consumers in skin diagnosis inside its brand counter within Guardian drugstores in Malaysia. And in Indonesia, we are seeing Sephora actually leveraging on their virtual artist try-on technology, which enables consumers to be able to try on the various products available in-store virtually. As such, I would say developing a well-rounded online to offline retail strategy would definitely serve to help businesses stand out from the intense competition within the beauty and personal care industry.
Great, great. And you already share a few very interesting examples and very advanced technology out there that retailers or beauty brands used to attract customers. And as a research specialist in beauty and personal care, you must be constantly looking at the key trends that will guide and shape the future of the industry. Could you please shed some lights on where the industry is heading in Southeast Asia, and what are the key trends that businesses need to watch out for?
Sure. So the outlook for the beauty and personal care industry in Southeast Asia, I would say, is set to look bullish, growing at a retail value CAGR growth rate of about 5% over the next 5 years, thanks to the region's strong historic growth and market potential that has yet to be fully tapped on. So some key trends businesses can look out for include hyper-personalization, which is an increased focus on sustainability as well as the rise of the conscious consumer. And lastly, the growing emphasis on emotional and mental well-being in light of the pandemic. So I'll dive a bit deeper into each of these trends. So firstly, on hyper-personalization. Personalization of products and services is not something new, but what has really accelerated is the extent of personalization that has grown over the years. So the pandemic has certainly also helped to speed up this process where brands are investing in advanced technology that can provide hyper-personalized and targeted beauty solutions for consumers. So according to Euromonitor's beauty survey in 2020, 26% of the respondents in Asia Pacific actually expressed willingness to pay 20% or more for personalized products based on detailed hair or skin diagnosis. So we are seeing exciting examples of hyper-personalization by industry players both globally and regionally, with some of the more recent examples such as L'Oreal's upcoming launch of its AI-powered 3-in-1 beauty device named Perso, which is able to create personalized skincare and cosmetic formulations by assessing individual consumers' skin conditions, environment, and preferences. Moving on to more local examples, Skintelligent is actually a Singapore-based beauty tech startup which developed an AI-enabled skin diagnostic tool which enables consumers to get personalized product recommendations and skin analysis reports based on the selfies that they upload on the tool. So while the onset of beauty tech is currently still at a nascent stage, its unexplored and untapped potential to create hyper-personalized solution is something which is expected to pick up rapidly over the next few years. And moving on to the rise of sustainability, the pandemic has definitely spurred the trend of mindful consumption around sustainability. In fact, 23% of global respondents indicated that they bought products and services from purpose-driven brands or companies in 2020, according to Euromonitor's lifestyle survey. And sustainability has definitely evolved beyond just including ethical credentials and environmental concerns to a more holistic, purpose-driven approach that aims to create social, environmental, and economic value. So we are seeing increasing number of beauty companies and brands embedding sustainability into their entire business ecosystems, whether it's working on designing sustainable packaging, using sustainable and ethically sourced materials to develop products, or reducing waste created. And leading players within the industry has actually already taken steps to kickstart these sustainability initiatives. So, for example, Procter & Gamble has plans to launch its own shampoo refill scheme in 2021. Shiseido launched their first biodegradable lip palette, and Estee Lauder is piloting blockchain technology to improve the traceability of their supply chain. So while these sustainability initiatives remain primarily targeted at the Western regions and focused on North America and European markets, the momentum in Asia has been picking up, especially due to the rise of the younger generations like the millennials and the Gen Zs demanding businesses to make a more positive contribution to the society and environment as a whole. And moving on to the last trend, mental and emotional well-being is expected also to take center stage, as accelerated by the onset of the pandemic as well, which took a toll not just on the consumer's physical well-being, but also on their mental and emotional well-being. So according to Euromonitor's Voice of the Industry survey in 2020, close to 40% of beauty and personal care industry players globally indicated health-inspired beauty or therapeutics as one of the key trends that will emerge in the post-pandemic era. So products centered around holistic wellness, of which embedding positive emotions to make consumers feel good inside out would be expected to gain traction. And this includes examples such as in the fragrances category, where we see the emergence of functional fragrances which offer therapeutic benefits. And outside of the fragrances category, for example, we are also seeing brands come out with self-pampering beauty kits, including facial masks, body care products positioned to help relieve stress and support mental health. And moving forward, we can expect more players in the industry to advocate for holistic well-being and as such create beauty and personal care products that not only make consumers look good but also feel good. Yeah, so I think this pretty much sums up some of the key trends that we can be sure to keep our lookout for over the next few years. And it will definitely be an exciting future ahead for the whole industry.
Excellent sharing. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you very much, SiYing, again for joining us and appreciate your great sharing.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
This is Lazada Insider. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you click follow and subscribe so you don't miss our latest insights and expert interviews. Thanks again for joining us. Until next time, take care.
Lazada.